Hi guys, Chris here back with another video. So I'm going to make a video guys on the controversy between Freelee and vegan Cheetah. It's not a video I want to make, but it's a video that I have to make because it seems like the right thing to do. For those of you unaware, there's been a lot of controversy recently within the vegan movement or community here on YouTube, and it's getting out of hand, and I'm going to speak up on the issue. So Freelee has basically had someone else's channel deleted. She's had the channel of another vegan here on YouTube deleted. Something that she herself has had nearly happened to her multiple times in the past. And when that has happened, we've all come out in support of her. So when Bloggerlattes came out trying to have Freelee's channels deleted, we all came out in support of Freelee. There's been other occasions where Freelee may have had a channel nearly deleted. We all came out in support of her, and Freelee's always said how it's a really horrible thing to do, to have someone's YouTube channel, their baby as she calls it, deleted, all that hard work gone, and it's just not cool. And I agree with that statement 110%. I personally would never ever get anyone's YouTube channel deleted if I disagreed with them. The way I would do it is I would simply, make a response to whatever they've said. I would refute what they've said, and if I'm unable to refute what they say, then perhaps it means that, they're right and I'm wrong, and I just need to apologise and accept what they've said is true. But either way, I would never respond by trying to delete someone's channel. Something that, Freelee said is not cool. So why is Freelee trying to have other people's channels deleted by filing false copyright claims? Now then, vegan Cheetah, he didn't breach any copyright laws. He used Freelee's footage under what is called fair use. Basically what that allows is that for you to take someone else's footage or material and then basically transform the nature of that essentially into something different. So basically what vegan Cheetah did is he took bits of her footage, sliced it up, and had his added his own commentary and to the footage, mixed it in with other footage, and essentially changed the nature of that. He didn't breach copyright laws, and the copyright claims against him are false. And what she did to him isn't cool, having someone else's channel deleted. But it's not just that though, it's the way that Freelee is conducting herself as someone who's supposed to be a leader of the vegan movement. Her actions are not befitting of a leader. So for those of you unaware, Freelee basically stole the footage of some young girls out in America. So these two girls called Get Upset, that is their YouTube channel name and their Facebook page name. These two girls out in America, they basically made a video which they spent a lot of time and put hard work in to do. And then what Freelee did was she took their video, she removed their label or icon on there, basically their logo, sorry, that's it. And what she did is she basically removed their logo, got rid of the sound, and did a voiceover, and basically took their footage and used it for herself. And she did not credit them, she didn't give them a shout out, she basically passed it off as her own essentially, which is really unfair and really cruel if you ask me. Now then, let's say if she had used this footage and at least credited these girls and given them a shout out, that would have been okay. But she didn't do any of that. She just used their footage, didn't give them a shout out, didn't give them any credit. And worst of all, when the girls basically came to her about this, the way she responded wasn't kind at all. She basically called them fake vegans, that they need to work harder, etc. And let's put this into perspective. These two young girls, they're about 19, 20 years old roughly. They're basically college girls. They're basically at the moment putting themselves into debt to give themselves an education. They're working hard, studying, and in their spare time, they're making time on top of all that to make videos on YouTube, on Facebook, to help other people, and help animals as well. And Freelee takes their footage, uses it in her own video, and makes money off the back of it. That isn't cool to me. Freelee is, you know, a 36, 37-year-old woman roughly. She's probably close to being a millionaire, if she already isn't. These two young girls, 19, 20, you know, I'm sure it was for them, it wasn't about the money, but surely you could, in that situation, see how it's not right. You know, someone who is very rich, essentially very well off, taking the footage, the material, the work of someone else, someone younger, two young girls, and then basically monetizing it, making money on it for themselves. That isn't right. Now then, the least that Freelee could have done, because at the end of the day, we're all humans, we all make mistakes. You know, a good friend of mine always told me, the man who never made a mistake is the man who never lived. I'm sure I've made mistakes, I'm sure I'm going to make mistakes, we all make mistakes, we're human, it's normal. But what's important is that how we react to those mistakes, especially if we're a leader, whether that be a leader in the vegan movement or vegan community or whatever it is in life, how we respond to our mistakes when people raise them, when people point them out, you know, it says a lot about us as people, in my opinion. And the way that she responded wasn't cool. You know, calling those two young girls, you know, fake vegans, telling them they need to work harder, you know, completely dismissing what, you know, they're saying, changing her, you know, video description about 4 to 5 times, each time, you know, not being, you know, kind to them, but being kind of rude and condescending. Not cool, not nice, and not befitting of a vegan leader within our community. The way she could have easily responded to this was to, you know, 1, apologise to the girls, 2, ask them, you know, do you want me to, can I leave, you know, the video on my channel, or would you like me to take it off? And, you know, 3, you know, the least she could have done is given these girls a shout out. You know, one of the things that she said in a video she did with Ness on Ness's channel is that she, you know, said, oh, you know, it was a small YouTube channel, you know, they hadn't uploaded in a while, so I just took it. Surely she could have seen that as an opportunity to raise these girls up. You know, Freelee has about 720,000 subscribers. She's the biggest female, you know, vegan out there. Well, I know you got like Satana Monjo, possibly 1 or 2 others who are well over about 1 million or so, but their primary platforms aren't based upon veganism, whereas Freelee's is. But Freelee could have basically given these girls a big shout out, you know, to basically help them to, you know, get them exposure, get them followers. And one of the big things that I believe in is always trying to promote others. Now then, for those of you who watch me, I promote others regularly. If you look in the description of the vast majority of my videos here on YouTube, I always have a list of doctors you should follow. And I've got Dr. McDougall, Dr. Michael Greger, Dr. Esselstyn, their social media links. And at the end of each video, what I do is I put a book of the episode card on there, which I made back in December, and I made that for a number of books. And the reason why I do that is because I want to promote to you, the viewer, some of the best people in the world when it comes to, you know, plant-based vegan diets, because I care about people's health, and I care about, you know, not just trying to promote myself, but trying to, you know, promote others. And the thing is, you know, Freelee has got 720,000 subscribers. What harm would it do to promote these, you know, these girls, to promote other people instead of just promoting herself? It just seems kind of, you know, not right to me. And all of the big thing for me is this. I mean, this isn't how someone should be acting within our community. You know, Freelee complains, you know, when people try to delete her channel, you know, she's almost like crying or wants to be in tears. You know, she goes on about how wrong it is, but then she does it to other people. It's complete hypocrisy. And at the same time, you know, she used these girls' footage and then turned around and accused them of stealing when they went away and they took, you know, separate footage, combined it together to make it something new. So she calls that stealing, but then she just goes and takes their footage, and that somehow isn't. So basically what the girls is, they, you know, filed a copyright claim, and then she then filed, you know, a counter claim against it, trying to fight them. She could have just apologized at any stage in all of this. And the big thing to realize is that there's nothing wrong, you know, nothing wrong with apologizing when you make mistakes. It doesn't make you any less of a person. It doesn't mean that it's going to threaten your platform or your subscribers. To apologize shows humility and strength, and humility and strength are things that we should have from leaders in whatever aspect of life, whether it's your workplace, whether it's politicians or the military, or veganism, or animal rights, environmental activism groups, whatever. And it isn't cool. So basically, guys, what I'd like you to do is, please support, Vegan Cheetah. I think he should get his channel back. Freelee, I would like her to basically remove or go to YouTube, say that the copyright claims were false, that they were not, the Vegan Cheetah did not breach copyright, because he didn't. He used the footage under fair use. And in terms of the Get Upset girls, I think they're owed an apology. And what I'd like for you guys to do is go watch their videos, follow them on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever social media they have. I'm going to link in the description so you can go and check them out. Like I said, these are two young 19, 20-year-old girls roughly. They're in college. They're probably putting themselves into debt to get an education. They're studying, they're working hard, and then on top of that they're trying to make videos. And then someone who is essentially nearly a millionaire, doesn't have a job, doesn't have a full-time job, has all the time to make it in the world to make videos, then kind of goes and takes their footage and then treats them very poorly. To me, it just isn't right. And I kind of had to apologize to the Get Upset girls, because I haven't really spoken up about this. And in all fairness, I'm only a small YouTube channel. It's not like I can make a difference. But I think whenever we see things that are going wrong, we should speak up in some way, shape or form. And to be honest, this entire situation hasn't been right with me from the beginning. And I think, let's say if it hadn't been Freelee, then they'd done it, then it had been someone else that I didn't like, or that I didn't care about or whatever, it would have been a different story. Straight away I would have been like, that is wrong, you were wrong, you should not have done that. And I think I allowed my judgment to be clouded a bit in terms of how I judged the situation, but I never felt right, and I should have listened to how I felt on the issue. So to Get Upset girls, sorry about that, and I'm speaking up on it now basically. And one thing I would say is this: if there's someone that we disagree with in life, we don't have to respond by trying to take away their social media, by trying to kick them off the internet, by trying to silence them. That's how the world, shouldn't work. If we disagree with someone, converse with them, debate with them. If they're wrong, refute them. It's as simple as that. If someone's wrong, refute them with a video or an argument or whatever. You don't have to delete their channel. No matter how much you don't like them or disagree with them, you can respond in a civilized manner. I don't agree with everything that Vegan Cheetah says, but I never, try and get his channel deleted, and I would never want it to be. Instead, what I do is I engage with him in the comments, and he's responded to me in the past. So, for example, things that I disagree with Vegan Cheetah on are when he was trying to make out that a vegan diet is almost like you have to be privileged to have it, that it's really expensive, when in reality it's very cheap. Rice, red lentils, potatoes, they're very, very cheap. When he went on about the health aspect, that there aren't really any health benefits to it, when you look at it, well, I called him out on that, and well, I didn't necessarily call him out, but in the comments I said, well, if you actually look at the work of Dr. Michael Greger, Dr. McDougall, Dr. Esselstyn, etc., they've showed time and again that vegan diets are pretty good for preventing the vast majority of our diseases and even reversing them. That's how I responded to it. I didn't respond by just trying to delete someone else's channel. And what we need to be conscious of as vegans is other people are watching us. The non-vegans, they're watching us, and they must be looking at this situation and thinking, what a laughing stock. How we should be united against for a common cause, instead of trying to take other people's channels down, instead of trying to steal other people's material without crediting those people. And in all fairness, people make mistakes. It's understandable that someone may have perhaps made that mistake, but when that mistake is then raised, highlighted to them, they should apologize. offered to remove it, or offered to credit them, offered to give them a big shout out and raise them up. So that's basically it, guys, for this video. I'm not sure if there's anything else to say on the issue, and that's basically it. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. What do you think? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Please give me a like if you can, because I kind of anticipate a lot of hate for this video possibly on my channel, so I'd really appreciate that. Like I said, Vegan Cheetah, he has a vlog channel if you still want to like listen to what he has to say, and I think Vegan Cheetah, he does have a lot of good things to say. So Vegan Cheetah, for example, he'll talk about, for example, iPhones. We all have these iPhones, and we all think about, almost vegan is almost like the solution to everything, and we don't look at the bigger picture. Veganism is great, but we need to look at our actions outside of veganism. I did buy this second hand, but buying electrical equipment, for example, you look at China, you look at Foxconn, who works for Apple in terms of making all these things. Their employees are treated terribly. You look at the fashion industry, people are treated terribly. And I think Vegan Cheetah, he's not perfect on everything. He says some things I disagree with, but we shouldn't just write him off and try and get his channel deleted because we disagree with him. That's the way that it shouldn't work. We shouldn't delete other people's channels because we disagree with them. That's wrong. And Freelee, if you were watching this, there's nothing wrong with apologising, for mistakes you've made. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength, it's a sign of humility. And I think apologising for the different things, could go a long way to perhaps trying to heal some of the damage. Get Upset girls, I think they definitely deserve an apology. Vegan Cheetah deserves an apology for trying to delete his channel. And at the end of the day, you are a leader within this movement. And just to clarify, I'm not a fake vegan, I am a real vegan. If I see a hedgehog on the side of the road, I'll stop and I'll pick them up when I'm cycling, put them in a field away from the road so they're safe. If I see a worm going along the road when I'm out for a walk in the hot sun, I'll pick it up and I'll put it in a hedge. If I see snails that are going to get run over, probably if a car would come along, I'll pick them up, put them in the hedge. If I see a bird who's got a broken wing or something, or is in need of help, I'll help them. I'll take them to like an animal sanctuary, or a local vet who will take care of them. I'm not some low fat, I'm not some high fat junk food vegan. I'm high carb, low fat vegan. I'm not a fake vegan, real vegan. I just think that the way you're acting isn't the best, and I've supported you in the past, and I think you've done a lot of good work, and you've woke a lot of people up to the suffering, the animals. It was Harley's videos that made me go vegan, or helped me to go vegan for health reasons. It was your videos that helped me go vegan from the perspective of the animals about a month or so later, when I saw your videos on baby chicks being ground up and different things like that. Your videos made me aware of that. I don't hate you, I don't dislike you, I just dislike your behaviour, because your behaviour isn't befitting of a leader. It's hurting you, it's hurting your brand, it's hurting your message, it's hurting veganism, and I think you just need to go away and try and do better, basically. It's the least you can do. So sorry if this is a bit long, everyone. I didn't really intend for it to be this long. I haven't scripted anything out. I just sit in front of the camera and just say what comes to me, what I want to say. So like I said, please give this video a like if you can. Until next time, God bless as always to everyone. And until next time, go high carb, low fat, low protein, high fiber, whole food, plant-based vegan. And never try and get other people's channels to lead, because it is never cool. Bye bye, guys. Hi guys, Chris here, back with another video. So I'm going to make a video, guys, on the controversy between Freelee and Vegan Cheetah. It's not a video I want to make, but it's a video that I have to make because it seems like the right thing to do. So For those of you unaware, there's been a lot of controversy recently within the vegan, movement or community here on YouTube and support of her. So when Bloggalates came out trying to, have Freelee's channels deleted, we all came out in support of Freelee. There's been other occasions where, Freelee may have had a channel nearly deleted. We all came out in support of her. And Freelee's always said, how it's a really horrible thing to do, to have someone's YouTube channel, they say, then perhaps it means that, they're right and I'm wrong, and I just need to apologise and accept what they've said is true. But now either way, I would never respond by trying to delete someone's channel. Something that, Freelee said is not cool. So why is Freelee, trying to have other people's channels deleted by filing false copyright claims? A baby, as she calls it, deleted, all that hard work gone, and it's just not cool. And I agree with that statement 110%. I personally would never ever get anyone's, YouTube channel deleted if I disagreed with them. The way I would do it is, I would simply, make a response to whatever they've said. I would refute what they've said, and if I'm unable to refute what they said, and it's getting out of hand, and I'm going to speak up on the issue. So Freelee has basically had someone else's channel deleted. She's had the channel of another vegan here on YouTube deleted. Something that she herself has had, nearly happened to her multiple times in the past. And, excuse me, when that has happened, we've all come out